It was a dark and stormy night outside the hangar, the rain pounding against the metal roof creating a cacophony of sound. Inside the air-conditioned, smoke-filled room of the hangar, Owen Grady lay sleeping in a chair, his injured body covered in bandages. His right eye was injured and covered, his right arm bandaged and hanging limply at his side. As Owen slept, two figures silently entered the room. Ripper, the male black Indoraptor, and Blue, the female adult Velociraptor, moved in sync, their clawed arms intertwined in a silent display of affection. They approached Owen's sleeping form, careful not to wake him. The two dinosaurs settled down on the floor in front of Owen, snuggling close to each other. Blue, in her sleeping state, began to quietly sob, tears streaming down her closed reptilian eyes. She mourned the loss of her Velociraptor teammates, Charlie, Echo, and Delta. Ripper, in his sleeping state, reached out with his clawed arm to gently pat Blue's body. "Shish, relax my sweetheart," he whispered in a comforting tone. "You are going to wake this guy up." He used his claws to pull Blue closer to him, snuggling her tightly against his side. Blue continued to cry and mourn, her sad voice barely audible as she expressed her feelings of loss. "I miss my team so much," she cried. "They are gone now and left me forever." Ripper hugged her tightly, his long clawed hand behind her back, gently rubbing her head. "Don't worry, sweetie, I am here for you," he whispered. "Just relax, take it easy, and calm down." Blue slowly began to calm down, her tears drying as Ripper wiped them gently from her eyes. She smiled slightly in her sleep, her reptilian eyes still filled with tears as she nestled closer to her romantic mate. As the night wore on, the two dinosaurs slept peacefully, wrapped in each other's embrace. Owen Grady remained oblivious to the emotional scene playing out in front of him, lost in his own dreams. The hangar was filled with the sounds of rain outside, the gentle breathing of the sleeping dinosaurs, and the occasional soft sniffle from Blue as she dreamt of her lost comrades. As dawn broke, the rain stopped, and a sliver of sunlight pierced through the windows of the hangar. Ripper and Blue slowly woke from their slumber, their bodies entwined in a loving embrace. They shared a silent glance, communicating their love and support for each other without words. As they rose to their feet, ready to face another day, their bond stronger than ever. And so, the day began anew, with the love and loyalty of two romantic dinosaurs shining brightly in the darkness. Their story a testament to the power of connection and compassion in even the darkest of times. Words, 469. It was a dark and stormy night outside the hangar, the rain beating against the metal roof as the wind howled through the cracks. Inside the air-conditioned smoke-filled room of the hangar, Owen Grady lay unconscious in a chair, his body battered and bruised, bandages covering his injured eye and arm. As Owen slept, two unlikely visitors crept into the room. Ripper, the male black Indoraptor, and Blue, the female adult Velociraptor, entered hand in claw, their eyes filled with a mixture of love and sadness. The two dinosaurs, a romantic couple, moved silently towards Owen, careful not to disturb his rest. Once they reached his side, Ripper and Blue lay down on the floor, cuddling and nuzzling each other for comfort. Blue's eyes glistened with tears as she thought of her fallen Velociraptor teammates, Charlie, Echo, and Delta. She sobbed quietly in her sleep, mourning their loss. Ripper, sensing his mate's distress, gently patted her back with his clawed hand. He whispered soothing words to her, assuring her that everything would be okay. Blue snuggled closer to him, finding solace in his embrace. As Blue continued to cry, Ripper wiped away her tears with his claw, his own eyes filled with emotion. He knew how much her teammates meant to her and wanted to comfort her in any way he could. "Shish, my love, it's all right," Ripper whispered. "I'm here for you. We'll get through this together." Blue eventually calmed down, her sobs subsiding as she nestled closer to Ripper. She smiled faintly, grateful for his support and love. The two dinosaurs lay intertwined on the floor, their bodies pressed together in an intimate embrace. The storm raged outside, but inside the hangar, there was a sense of peace and unity. Ripper and Blue slept soundly, their hearts beating as one. They were more than just predators, they were soulmates, bound by love and loyalty. As the night wore on, Owen stirred in his sleep, unaware of the tender moment unfolding before him. The romantic dinosaur duo remained by his side, watching over him protectively. In the morning, Owen awoke to find Ripper and Blue curled up together on the floor. He marveled at the sight, realizing that even in a world of chaos and danger, love and compassion still existed. The sun rose, casting a warm glow over the hangar. Ripper and Blue stirred from their slumber, their eyes meeting in a silent exchange of love and gratitude. They knew that as long as they had each other, they could overcome any challenge that came their way. As Owen left the room, he couldn't help but feel touched by the bond between the two dinosaurs. He knew that true love knew no bounds, not even between different species. And so, as the day began anew, Ripper and Blue continued their journey together, their hearts entwined in a love that defied all odds. And in that moment, in the quiet stillness of the hangar, they found solace in each other's arms, knowing that they were truly meant to be together for eternity. Words, 513. Select to speak. The night was dark and quiet outside the hangar, the only sound being the distant howl of a lone wolf. Inside the air-conditioned smoke-filled room of the hangar, Owen Grady lay sleeping in a chair, heavily injured with his right eye covered in bandages and his right arm hanging, also bandaged. As Owen slept, a smaller dinosaur duo entered the room. Ripper, the male black Indoraptor, slightly larger than his romantic wife Blue, the female adult Velociraptor. The two romantic dinosaurs held their clawed arms together as they silently made their way towards where Owen was sleeping. They exchanged silent romantic dialogues, sharing a loving gaze before sharing a gentle kiss. Settling down on the floor in front of Owen, the romantic dinosaur duo curled up together, cuddling as they slept. Blue, in her sleeping state, began releasing tears from her closed reptilian eyes. She sobbed silently, mourning the loss of her velociraptor teammates, Charlie, Echo, and Delta. Ripper, in his sleeping state, raised his clawed arm and gently patted Blue's body, trying to comfort her. He whispered softly, "Shish, relax my sweetheart. It's going to be okay. You'll wake this guy up." Ripper then used his claws to drag Blue closer to himself, snuggling her tightly as she continued to cry and mourn. Blue turned to sleep on her left side, facing Ripper, as he hugged her tightly. She continued to cry and hug Ripper, expressing her grief at the loss of her team. Ripper, in turn, hugged Blue back, using his long clawed hand to gently pat her and wipe away her tears. He reassured her, "Don't worry, sweetie, I'm here for you. Just relax and calm down." Blue slowly returned to her sleeping state, still hugging Ripper. She smiled slightly, her reptilian eyes filled with tears. The two dinosaurs slept peacefully on the floor, embracing each other in their silent sorrow and love. As the night wore on, the hangar remained quiet, the only sound the soft breathing of the sleeping dinosaurs. The moonlight filtered through the windows, casting a gentle glow over the scene. Ripper and Blue, the romantic dinosaur duo, remained curled up together, finding comfort in each other's arms. The story of their silent night continued, a tale of love, loss, and companionship in a world filled with danger and uncertainty. And as the night faded into dawn, Ripper and Blue slept on, their bond unbreakable, their hearts united in a silent yet powerful love. Words. 412. The night was still and quiet outside the hangar. Inside, the air-conditioned room was filled with smoke, making it hard to breathe. Owen Grady sat in a chair, his body heavily bandaged from injuries sustained in a recent dinosaur attack. His right eye was covered with a bandage, and his right arm hung limply at his side. He was fast asleep, completely motionless. As the darkness enveloped the room, two figures entered silently. They were a smaller dinosaur duo, unlike any Owen had ever seen. The male, who was black with a yellow band trailing down his body, was an Indoraptor named Ripper. His mate, Blue, was a beautiful adult velociraptor with striking blue scales. The two creatures walked hand in claw, their eyes locked in a silent exchange of love and understanding. Without waking Owen, Ripper and Blue settled down on the floor in front of him. They curled up together, their bodies intertwined in a display of affection and devotion. As they lay there, Blue began to silently weep. Tears rolled down her closed reptilian eyes as she mourned the loss of her velociraptor teammates, Charlie, Echo, and Delta. Ripper, sensing his mate's sorrow, gently patted her back with his clawed hand. He whispered comforting words in a hushed tone, reassuring her that everything would be okay. Blue clung to him, her cries muffled by his chest, as she found solace in his embrace. "I miss my team so much," Blue sobbed quietly. "They're gone, and I'm all alone now." Ripper wiped away her tears with his clawed finger, his touch gentle and reassuring. "Don't worry, sweetie," he whispered. "I'm here for you. Just relax and calm down." Blue slowly calmed down, her sobs fading into sniffles as she nestled closer to Ripper, finding comfort in his presence. She smiled through her tears, her reptilian eyes filled with gratitude and love. Meanwhile, in another part of the hangar, two oversized dinosaurs from the Ice Age 3 animated film were sleeping peacefully. Rudy, the massively oversized white baryonyx, cuddled his mate, Mama T-Rex, who was slightly smaller in size. Mama T-Rex also wept in her sleep, overwhelmed by feelings of loss and confusion. Rudy embraced his wife, patting her back with his long claws as he tried to console her. "Relax, my love," he murmured. "I'm here for you. We'll get through this together." Mama T-Rex clung to Rudy, finding solace in his comforting presence. She slowly calmed down, her tears drying as she drifted back to sleep, safe in the arms of her beloved husband. As the night enveloped the hangar, the romantic dinosaur couple slept peacefully, their love and devotion shining through even in their darkest moments. The air was filled with a sense of peace and understanding, as the creatures found solace in each other's arms. And in that moment, despite the chaos and turmoil of the world outside, love prevailed, proving that even in the darkest of times, there is always a glimmer of hope and humanity.